It is Christina at Scrapcraft and Stitchery, and I am making ephemera all week long this week, and today I am going to spend a little bit of time. I made this the other day out of just the scraps that were left over on my desk as making some journal cards, and this little piece of imagery with this flower on it, and I put it on this little card, and I made a little dangle with a bulb pin. And I love this so much, and I have gotten out all of the supplies, and that's what I'm going to work on today. And so what I've been doing is, so come with me and play along. Grab your stuff. What are you working on? I hope you're doing something fun today and maybe getting a little bit of craft time in. So what I've done here is I was just making these. And can you see? So these are just a few decorative stitches on my sewing machine that I put on as a piece of cardstock. So I'm going to cut this up and use these to maybe make some spine dangles, and maybe I'll do a couple that have, so I'm just going to cut these out really quick. This would probably almost be faster with a pair of scissors. So what I have on this other dangle is I just grabbed a few things. So this is a piece of cardstock, and I put an eyelet through it, and it just has an image, a tiny little image of a flower on there that I got out of a seed catalog. I have some more of that over here if I want to use that. And then I have a few pieces of lace that are really interesting, and this one's just a string of flowers, and so I used that. And I pulled this out in case I wanted to use this because it's kind of a fun little pattern. And I got this out. We'll see if we use that. I don't know. We might. And then there's a few beads and a little charm on there. I have some cat charms too. I might use those because I have never used those, and I bought them and they're over in my stash. So I'm just using up my stash today. And this is just scraps here that I have sewn on. Like I said, so I'm getting into the scrappy business and making a few little tiny charming, hopefully charming things. So come along. I hope, like I said, that you're having some fun today. Some of these I put some book page on top to kind of make it stand out more. I think that's cute. This is kind of a playing with my new sewing machine, you know, having fun. I don't know, that one looks like it's going to come unraveled. Maybe we'll put some glue on the back and put something on the back of this. That's kind of cute. So I'm just cutting these down so I can use them for what I want. It's kind of a little difficult to see here. I just thought these might be cute to try and use. And that I messed up, and it just wasn't set up right, and it didn't work. So we'll get rid of that mess here. I'm gonna make these, and then I'm going to clean up, because I will say apparently what happens when you're just making ephemera for a week is this is not a very directed activity, and I have drug out pretty much everything I own at this point, and my studio here is a mess. I made envelopes yesterday. You can see them sitting here. Kind of taking up space. That's what the whole place looks like outside of the camera. I cleared some space this morning, and I'm going to go clean up here in a minute. But first, this. So I need to find my little scissors. I'll be right back. Honestly, after I found the little scissors, let's just use the big scissors. So I'm gonna glue these down on the edges. I just kind of want to get them to the right size first. And these, I think, can be relatively small. I mean, like this image is only like, what, half an inch by, I guess it's like 2.5 inches long. I was just playing around with stuff that was left over. You know, as one does, adding more to it, pulling out all the supplies. all of the things that I have been literally hoarding up for years, I'm getting to play with now. So it's all been worth it. I really love this, like, this stitch is so cool. It's just an asterisk flower thing, and it just goes along, and it's so pretty. And so I'll probably ink the side of this. I might back these because, and put something on the back of these, might be what I do, and I think that'll also keep these from unraveling. So I'll probably, and that'll be good, because if these are dangling off of something, it'll just give them a little more structure so they're not gonna fly away. We'll rip that one since that's already ripped. Which, maybe I should go ahead and back them, since I said I was going to do that beforehand. What do I have over here that I can use? Surely there must be something here in my pile of wonders. I'm just going to glue these down on here, and I think that'll work. This is still really big, isn't it? That's okay. That's okay. They can be kind of big. So I'm going to glue these down on here, kind of give them a little bit of a backing so I don't have to worry about things unraveling, and just to make them really, this is like nice cardstock. It's very thick. So there's that. I must be picking up the recycling outside. I can hear the truck. You can probably hear the truck too. We have to decide if we want to let this brown paper kind of show through under this, or if we want to just butt it up. I don't really have to decide that now, but we can make an extra layer there. Let me go grab my inks as well. Oh, and then this paper also is sewn down, but it is not attached. So I'm going to go back and attach the paper to here so it's also not kind of flapping around. And I'm going to get my inks out and just ink these up before I go any further, because I think that'll look nice and be easier for me to do now. Just a little bit of glue, a little bit of gluing here, a little bit of, this is a lot more detailed than what I was doing yesterday. I made envelopes yesterday, so this is a whole new fun and exciting world of doing little tiny things. Okay, let me go get ink. I thought I had everything. This is what I'm saying. It's like, oh, now I need one more thing. Vintage photo. I'm just going to go around and ink these and finish cutting them down. Ooh, that one will work. Which one is it? We don't know. Lots of things to choose from around here. I am super happy to be using these supplies up. I'm going to leave a little bit of room at the top so I can put an eyelet. I might cut this a little bit thinner too. I need to have room to attach an eyelet, but I don't necessarily need as much as I've cut there. The sun is shining and there's a light breeze out there. It is a beautiful, beautiful day. I'm gonna go for a walk later and enjoy the day and kind of get out of the house a little bit, get some exercise, So what I want to do is I really do want to ink that paper as well. I have not been in the mood to ink things, but it does kind of give everything kind of a more finished feeling for sure. Would be nice if all my scraps were... I just dove into my scrap pile here for using some of these things up. You know, I have been making ephemera, so I've been making a lot of scraps. Fortunately for me, these are all things that I'm just going to have on hand to use, and it's going to be beautiful. And what are we doing with this one? I don't know. Maybe we'll leave it just the way it is. Since we can't make a decision, let's just go with what we got. We'll have room at the top, we'll have some room at the bottom, and that's going to be brilliant. That is just going to be what it is. It might. Do we want? I'm going to leave a very, very small border on there. Stick my finger all up in this glue and get it worked all the way to the edges here. I'm working into that thread so it'll stick nicely for me. And now that I've smushed it and picked it all up with my finger, I don't think I have enough. Let's go back in and put a little bit more. How's that? Okay. I want just a thin border on here. I don't know why, I just do. It's what I want. Okay, I think it'll look good. I think it will look good. I really like this. This is fun. Just kind of making jewelry for your junk journals. I'll show you at least one way to use this, but you can always put this on like the top of a tag or something too. Why not? I'm gonna put that back on there. That's exactly what I'm gonna do with that. I think it's cute. I like it. Okay. And the back of this is like scrapbooking paper, so it's got two-sided scrapbooking paper, so as it's dangling there, you'll have a fun and exciting little back you can explore too. You could, of course, put something on both sides. Why not? Lots of things. Just fun and discovery. And that will go there. Right now I'm just backing these to give this... See, I did a terrible job of sewing. I was having some problems last night while I was sewing, and so I think that got kind of caught in there. There's a big chunk. Which was clogging up my machine. I'm just kind of trying to reinforce these. This will keep my stitching from unraveling in case I didn't sew back enough. That is so cute. Look at that. I'm gonna have little charms on everything. Very cute. Very cute. Did not go on straight, and you know what? I love it. Okay. This guy needs to be glued down underneath. Did we already... We were already working on this, and I can see we've already inked it. We forgot to glue her down. And then we'll glue it down on here. I think that's where I'm going to put the eyelet. That will certainly keep that end down. So we have this kind of fancy edge right there. There we go. I just don't want this to, like, you know, get ripped up or anything, since it's going to have a dangling kind of a life. Dangling in there, as one does, you know, just dangle around. Dangle, dangle. This one can have something too. This is kind of like pine bough. That's a word I never use. Sounds kind of weird. I'm going to cut a little bit off the top of here because that's where I finished sewing, and it looks like it's a little bit. And how about we cut that like that, since we're going to put it on here. That'll give it a little bit of, hey, I'm not quite straight, which is a great thing to be in life, just a little bit crooked. It happens to the best of us. Makes it look more natural when everything's not a straight line. I am obviously not in a straight lines kind of a mood today. Okay. So we have these, and I just saw this. This was kind of an idea that I saw online, to have these little sewn strips. And this is the idea I got to use them. And try this out. That one I'm going to give a little bit of, I want this one to have a little bit bigger border when I cut it out. I would normally do this with the paper cutter because I dislike cutting things with scissors. Don't know why. I have no reason for that, but there it is. I have made a confession here today. Why cut with scissors when you can cut with a paper trimmer? That is what I generally like to say. Okay. Okay. That's great. We got that. We got one. All right. Let's inky dinky do around the edge of that. This is now, I mean, a nice charm because we have the paper, the green paper that this is sewn on is very thick, and then this is just like a margin from a book page, so it's not. But then this like brown is actually, it looks like cardboard and it feels like cardboard. It really does. And so we have some pretty good layering going on with these. This is going to be big. I think this could almost go on like top of a tag, and that would be a great thing. There we go. I might almost leave a little bit more. That's going to be the top because I kind of want to cover up where this is coming loose. I'm just going to leave that like that. The stitching is kind of a little bit off to the side. The border isn't quite the same on the top and the bottom. And I think it just kind of gives us a little bit of charm. I'm thinking this feels a little bit wabi-sabi to me. A little bit of just imperfection, I think. I think it's this like stitching that just reminds me of cuneiform. So that's how I am thinking about this. These are just kind of, you know, they have a little bit of an organic feel to them that I'm really loving. I like these colors too, just the brown and the green. It's very, very soothing to me. And this one, I am going to cut this way. And then we have to decide if we're going to mirror that angle or just cut it off straight. And we're going to accentuate that angle by cutting it off just like that. Okay. I have a few charms over here that are like little coin kind of things. I have some other things. I'll have to dig out and see where I had other things. I have all these little coins that can go on here. Oh, here it is. This one's got a cute little flower. This one's got a bell. There's some fun little things. These are just sets that came with a kit. And I have about 20 of them, quite a few to work with. I can go find other things. I have other things. I have so many things. And again, it's just wonderful to be able to kind of sit down and use some of these things up. I had, so these are going to be beautiful. That gives us these 5, which are sewn, and I will put, they're ready to get an eyelet put in them. Before I go on, this is just a little flower, and that's how I made this. It was just a catalog piece, and it was a piece like this, and it was so pretty. That I decided to honor this one little scrap. I put the rest of that picture in the inside of a journal that I made. It was like a little tiny matchbook journal that is a tuck thing that I can put in. And I just had this one piece that was cut off for, I don't even know what reason I cut that off. I'm just gonna, there's a piece of some roses on there. And then I just put that on here, and that was that. I'm going to cut this down a little bit further. If you wanted to, you could kind of fussy cut around this rose too. Just pretty little strip of a scrap. I'm just kind of getting this to a size that feels by eyeball right. And this cardstock already has a little bit of edging where I trimmed something away, and I'm just going to use that. And these, I'm just so happy with the way these came out. Even the journal cards, some of them just look like beautiful paintings, and these were all pictures from this seed catalog or nursery catalog. Just beautiful images. Like that one's really pretty too. I have this out here so we could use it if we want to. Like that one's great. Like that one's got some of those trimmings on it. I will definitely be using up the rest of the seed catalog, or I keep calling it a seed catalog. Nursery catalog. Hopefully they send me another one next year. I think I have a couple of these. Beautiful, beautiful source of images. Look at that. We'll use them all. Down to the very last scrap. It just looks so pretty when it's glued down on this cardstock. And did I say the other day that I was using glue sticks so that it wouldn't wrinkle? Might have done that. Sounds like a thing I might have said yesterday when I was doing this. Okay, there is that, and I'm going to cut this off up here, and I will go ahead and find my dauber who's tried to escape. Whoa. We'll grab it. Someday I'm going to have to do a live so that I can see what you guys are thinking. So we have that. That's exactly how I made that one. This one's a little more difficult because we'd have to make so many decisions about what to do to get it onto one of these little scraps. We can certainly go for it. What image do we like? This would be pretty. This might be pretty and kind of unusual to have just this piece of a flower in there. And maybe we'll go with something like this, a little bit bigger. And we can put this in a little corner. And I think we might have something there. You can even grab these like little tiny insets. But we're not going to be too insane. When I say that we're going to save everything and use every last scrap, I kind of only sort of mean that in the most literal of senses. I think, I don't know, it's hard for me to see what is going on. I'm going to hold this up to the light. I'm going to press this down, and it is a little not quite centered, which is what I intended. And are we surprised? No, I'm not surprised, given the fact that I did that way. But what else are you supposed to do? It is on the flower, and wait till you see where it's at. I think it's going to be everything that we dreamed it would be. And I'm just going to do this so that hopefully this will tear a little bit wonkety, so that I was hoping maybe, but it didn't. So you can see it's kind of like that. And I like it. I think that that's fun. It is a close-up on a flower. I'm gonna grab my sanding block and just sand off the edges. Oh, it did tear, so you can see the cardstock underneath in just one corner. I was kind of hoping some of the edges would go too and not tear off the whole thing. But hey, you know, it's all part of the process. That is a cute little tag. It's, I mean, okay. Get yourself a nursery catalog. Also buy some flowers from, you know, your favorite nursery for your yard. And then you can make pressed flowers out of them later. And now I am inking. I might need to pick up a little more ink. I'm going to ink the back of this too, because I think it's kind of plain. No plain. Let's not have anything too plain around here. Let's do something with that. Okay, you can do lots of different things with these. This is what I'm doing. This is what I did. I can think of 1,000 other things. So the next thing to do, we have, these are all, I mean, these are beautiful and different, and these are beautiful and different, and I'm going to grab the purple one. I like the idea of having 3 of these and 5 of these. I like odd numbers. I'm going to do one more. One more. I wasn't going to do one more, and you have talked me into it today. I am obviously starting to wake up. I'm getting excited about this. So I want this purple. We'll do something with that. Because look, we have this purple string. I don't know what we're going to do with that, but hey, we have it. And we love it when we have something great. And This piece is huge, guys. Huge. Why do I even have that in my hand? I want a little piece. I want little bits and pieces. This one has, I like this red on here. I'm going to use that as the back. I have a crazy thought. I don't have my crazy ruler. I'll use the big one. I can see it. I'm going to clean up right after this, I promise. I love lilacs. This is a lilac. I can talk. They smell so beautiful. I don't think it's cold enough here where I'm at in the winter for them, so we don't really have them here. We have lots of other beautiful things like the honeysuckles and whatnot, but where I come from, we have these beautiful lilacs, and they bloom in the spring, and they are amazing. Oh, let's finish this. I'm just going to use this corner and get some of this purple for our next time when we need something with a little purple in the dangle. We need a little purple in our dangle. That'll work. That'll work. That'll be where the eyelet sits. This can get torn off right here. We need a little tiny piece. You thought I was crazy because you're like, oh, it's going to be all green, and it's not. We are only getting a suggestion of these here. And this is not my best tearing ruler. Just look at that. This is going to be perfect on there. And I'm just going to put that straight down on there. This is that brown that we trimmed off from these. So we're using tiny little scraps to make tiny little charms. That's what these are. Those are just like little paper charms that we're making here today. Oh, that's what I wanted to make with some paper beads. What's in my pile? I'm not doing that right now. I have to clean up a little bit before I get off onto paper beads making. What's in the pile? What could we use? Book pages. I have a box of book pages. They are out. I'm not supposed to have them out. They're supposed to be in the closet over there. Living their best life in the closet, waiting for this moment when they get made into paper beads. Paper beads would be great for this. I might trim this or leave it. I like the other one. I might have ripped this off just a little too much. I feel like I'm doing an advertisement for Spring Hill Nursery. I'm not. This one had that little bit on the side, so it's got a little bit of interest on the back too. I think those are apples from the same catalog. Check your mail. Spring and fall. Okay, now I have 3 of these and I have 5 of these. So is what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my little Frisker's tool that I got because I lost my crocodile. I don't know where it's at. It's got to be around here somewhere. I have looked everywhere, and I have looked everywhere pretty much twice. So I bought this Frisker's tool, and it is an anywhere hole punch, which I liked because I don't have the larger crocodile that punches anywhere. So I figured I would get some of these for when I am punching holes. They're very loud. I'm going to take this loud and obnoxious noise out later, I promise. This is, keep in mind, extraordinarily thick cardstock. I'm always asking this punch to go a little bit above and beyond. I'm going to need, this is not the one that I've been using. I hope, and I've been struggling to get my eyelets in too. Oh, maybe this is the one I should have been using. The bigger hole one. Look at that. The eyelet actually fits in there. Go figure. I want like a brass one, not like a gold one. What do I have? Maybe I don't have the same eyelets out. Okay. That's going to be mostly covered up anyway. This one will be easier. This one is just 2 of our cardstocks. I'm going to make it so that is a little bit not directly in the center. See, that worked better. Still didn't get it right there. I wonder if I'm not holding it down quite lovely. I'm going to do it again. Okay. So the way that these work is this is supposed to be an all-in-one tool. So if you use, so it's just got a spring and you smack it down. I don't think it's going to work on these eyelets very well. So I have this other tool for putting this on. And I'm going to do this and off camera, but you just whack it on there and whack it as many times as you want. Also, I also think it helps to have a better surface. Okay. So now we have these 2 with eyelets. Yay! Keep going, punching holes. I want that to be the bottom. We have that fancy border there. One try wonder. This is very noisy kind of a thing. Okay, let's get rid of our bits. Now I'm worried that I'm not putting these close enough to the top for them to go onto the bulb pin. So let's do that. You got it stuck on you. Okay. How can you not, though? Seriously. That's just, I mean... Okay. Getting out all the tools today. Getting out all our playthings. I have definitely gotten out all of my playthings. And now it is time to put on some music or some YouTube and clean up. I still have one more day of ephemera to make. I'm not sure right now what I'm going to make. One more of this. Okay. I am going to put eyelets in all of these, and I will come back when I am done banging and hammering, and I have all these eyelets set. My neighbors are going to think they live in a construction zone, but through the magic of YouTube, I will be right back when I have eyelets to save your ears. Okay, as promised, I am back and all of these eyelets are set, and we have 7 tags. I'm gonna use these beads for this. This one I'm probably gonna go get something a little more purple, which I'm sure I can find. What do I have right here out of frame? Nothing good, but I have a whole other box. But for these, I think we can use what we have here to just kind of go to town and do this. I have this little bell. Maybe we'll use a little bell on one of these. Why not? I have all of these little charms. I'm gonna have to grab a few more of those, and again, maybe I'm not back. Let me see if I can find these. I have all of these are beads. All of these. These would be really pretty with the purple. And somewhere in here I have, it's a very full thing of little charms. There's little keys and whatnot in there. So let's have a look-see and see what we have in there. This is my box of goodies. You've now seen it. Get rid of those. Maybe we'll keep one of those. Maybe we'll keep one of those. So we just need a little one for each one. And then you can loop this on first. No, this is going to go on last. And the reason why is because we want to fill this up. So you can put on 1 or 2 or 3 beads. These are just tiny little guys. Is that the hole? Do you have a hole? This might be a defective bead. We're not off to a good start. Okay. I don't think that one has a hole. I think it's wants to have a hole. You can see through. It's kind of a little glass bead and you can see through, and it does not, or it's not going to go on here. Here's its little friend. See, it goes on. It goes on. It's not going to fit. It's too big. It's too long and it won't make it around the bulb. We're not. Oh. Hey. 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 Whoa. We're not doing aerobics here. We don't need to stretch that far. And so I'm just kind of picking some of these yellow and ones that have big enough holes to go on here. There's a whole variety of things to choose from in here. And so this is exactly how I made this. I put 3 beads on there. I don't know if you can see, but there you go. 3 beads. And then we can put a charm. Why not use this little bell? Why not? It even works. It's adorable. And then I put a piece of lace, and I'm going to use a piece of this. So let's put this down without losing all of our pieces. We should cut some bits and pieces out of this. So I'm just going to cut this off so that, I guess you could leave that and maybe it would look like a little leaf if you leave that on there. I'm just going to cut some of these so they are to hand. I really love these little daisies. That does not seem to be coming apart, so I guess we're okay. To just cut off a piece. Just cut these all down. I'll add them into a tube in my things to use with my beads. Just cutting these apart. You don't need to see me watch. You don't need to see that. That's why I have an assortment, so that when I get the urge to throw something on to my pin, I have plenty to choose from. Okay, so that's what I have. These are just things that I had in my stash. Again, because I've been collecting these things and I buy them thinking I will someday use these for something, and today is someday. And I'm just going to kind of stick that on there so that I think it looks nice, and I think that like kind of adds it a little bit of interest. And then I just put one of these on. Ta-da! And then what am I going to do with this? What will I do with this? That is a very good question, and I have an answer for you. So I have this journal that I have worked on my channel. I actually made this on my channel if you want to see. And it's like a treasure of books. And so what it has is it has a hardcover. It has a cute cat inside. Maybe I should put a cat on. Maybe I should use one of my cat charms. And so I already have a bulb pin on here with nothing on it. So I might exchange this because this does have a fabric spine, and so I'm just going to stick something more interesting on here. Just like that. There you go. Now I have a little bit of a interesting piece going on, and I can put it anywhere on the spine here. But there you go. And that's adorable, and I like it a lot. So there is one idea. You could attach it right onto a page in your book. I don't see why not. This one, so what do we do first? We want some interesting beads. I have these kind of like donut shaped rings. They seem to be working. Let's try some of those. You don't have to put on 3. You could put on 2. You could just put on 1. I like this again. I'm going to do this same piece. Oh, we need a charm. Let's put this little daisy before we dive into the keys and things. That charm is bigger. You don't really see that, but I think it's okay because of the dangles. I think it'll dangle away. Maybe we should have left the longer thing. Maybe. Since it's a daisy, you know what? This has got a little daisy on this charm. Let's put the daisy on. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. And we'll put that on there. And we now have 2 made. There you go. You're welcome very much. Very cute. I like the way these beads match this paper. Okay, so there's another one. Quick and easy little things we can do for fun. Let's do pinks on here to go with this little flower next. Okay, little pinks, and whatever this is. That is also pink. They're all pink Okay, great. We got that. We'll use our coin. We will use this guy. I'm just looping this through this lace any old wear. And onto our little paper charm. There you go. These would also be cute if you didn't want to go to the extremes of making these paper charms, but if you want to use up your scraps, I feel like this is a totally wonderful way to do it. Use kind of a black one for this. I have a variety of bulb pins. I'm going to use a big donut, and I'm going to leave that being the only one on there. What is in here? I have all kinds of other little charms. There's feathers and seashells and cats and keys. I think I have, these are kind of a sewing set. I have an idea for that now that I see it. Oh, I have a mermaid. Oh, I have a bird. I like this little bird. Little bird. Right on the top. How about that? Oh, he's got two. Well, there you go. He's kind of brassy for this. That's okay. Got that. We'll put this. So many fun combinations here. This is just totally play. You have this little dangly charm that has all these beautiful little things on it. These are so fun to make. So fun! I have this giant charm as well. It's got a ship on it. It says half penny. It's even got a date. I think it says 1867. Looks like it's from the Roman Empire, maybe? Elizabeth? Oh my gosh, I can't even read this. It's so cute. It's just totally a little coin. So is that. Da-da-dum. Flowers and flowers. Okay. Back to the green. I see this one. Oh, it goes on. Okay, I don't know why I thought it wouldn't, because that other one didn't. There we go. Beautiful. What comes next, guys? We need another charm. We need another charm. Oh, what do we have? I have a cat so far. I have a big tree. Maybe a key. Maybe a key is going on here. I see a little elephant. I'm going to make something for my mom out of that. I see a key. This was not the best way to do this. I should put away my other things over there that I'm done with. Putting away my things. That is the next order of business. Time to clean up the messy craft room. That's a shell? Oh, that's cool. Okay. That one's getting a key. Oh, a bee. A bee is going with that flower. Okay, let's pick one more. All right, what else have we got? We have, this is getting a key. Let's do this way before I start putting things in. That has a little owl key. This is a little key and it has a little owl face, and I love owls. And I'm putting this on this one that has this pine bough. That's such a weird word. It doesn't sound that way in my head. And the lilacs kind of want to stay with something gold to match because we could have gone off in a different direction, but we didn't. Maybe another key for the lilacs? Maybe. That's what I see in here. A bat. Halloween journal. He's kind of a scary bat too. We'll put a mermaid on it. You can just put a little heart. Do you want to put a little heart? It's silver. Let's stick with the key. Let's go with what we got. Oh, these keys have like spades and clubs on them. I wonder if I have hearts in here too, somewhere. This one has a heart. Diamonds? Diamonds, anybody? Do we have any diamonds? I'd be sad if we didn't have a diamond, but we had all the others. Like that tree. Okay, well this was fun. We can make lots of these or other things, but my heck, we have collected the things to make these. If you don't have all of these things, you can be creative. Maybe you can get some lace off of something else, or just a piece of fabric too would work if you have like some old clothing that's like torn and ripped. I have a shirt in my box. I have this shirt. I really love this shirt, but it has a hole like right in the front of it. And so I have put it in my box of things. Also, it doesn't fit me anymore. And so I've put this in here. And it is good for, like, it's got these really pretty pearl buttons. And it's just an old shirt. And you could do a piece of old clothing. So we might as well do this. Why not? Now is the time. I'm just going to cut a piece of this off. I'm going to cut it on the hem. We'll use a piece of fabric instead of our piece of lace for one of these. Because, you know, what if you haven't collected like years and years and years of like lace that you've never used and bought for no purpose? What if you haven't done like what I've done? Maybe all you have is a little bulb pin and an old shirt. And you get these sometimes if you watch, like when you buy clothing or something. You can get these bulb pins. So if you have not purchased a pack or trade with somebody who has that. I was really thinking, guys, that we could do a trade. That's the wrong one. Back to what we were doing before we got off on doing something else. We are on this guy. Paying attention. We're paying attention. Okay. Guess we are. Okay. I got excited. I got distracted. I'm glad you're here to be distracted and be like, ooh, sparkly. Ooh, let's cut up a shirt. There you go. That one is super cute. I really love this pattern. It's like my favorite one that my machine does, I think. We are stacking up a pile of these. We'll do this one next. I promised that we could do one that, what if you only have you could just do a whole string of fabric like this. I just cut off the hem and I folded it kind of in half, not exactly in half, and you could just put a whole bunch of fabric on one of these. I will put a piece of lace on there just to split it up. Actually, I won't. What if you just did that? What if you just have an old shirt that's like your favorite shirt, but now it has a hole and you're very, very sad? And so you can take this and do this, and here you have this whole other idea of using up something that you have in your junk journal world. It's not tearing where I want. On the hem. And so you can just take, but you have a bulb pen because you bought a new shirt and it came with a bulb pen on the tag. And so you can cut up your old shirt and make a little dangle with what you have. If you want to do a little tag, maybe your shirt also came with a little tag. You could cut this down from the other tag and cover it with, you know, things from your mail, and that would be really cute and really fun too. I'm using up my stuff. You can use up your stuff. I'm certain that you probably have stuff and can find stuff, and you get stuff all the time because we live in a stuff kind of a world. And here we are just getting along, using up our stuff. But this is also just kind of a really cute little thing. And I am going to put just a dab of glue to kind of hold these together in half now that I've gotten them on there. And this is also just a kind of creative little thing. I mean, you can make 1,000 of these if you know, had enough bulb pins. But we only have the one, so we're only going to make the one. Just to show us that, you know, we don't have to have 20 or 30,000 different supplies. We can just use the supplies that we have and make something new out of something old too. Would you guys be interested in doing some kind of a swap? I will ask that someplace, not at the end of an 1.5-hour video. If you guys want to do a swap, I was thinking about doing like a USA swap. So you could get something from every state and kind of have it be a collection, and everybody could just send you like 1 or 2 little things for your junk journal for you to use that maybe they have made. I think that that would be really fun, and I have more stuff here than I will ever be able to use. So I am happy to provide if you wanted to do this. I saw somebody else was doing this, and they just had a USA stamp with all the states, and I have a stamp like that, and I could send you one, and you could mark something off from Tennessee, and I'd be happy to send some happy mail out to people. That would be fabulous. And I can, anyway, if you want to participate, let me know, and I can work out the details of how to get everybody pen pals from every state, if you guys can provide the states. So back to this. That's just an idea I had. I'm going to throw it out there into the universe and see what happens. Pleased as can be. This, we're going to go continue back on with our, throwing a few beads on here. Throwing on our charm. We have the charm. This is the little owl. Look at the little owl. He's so cute. She's little, whatever. Hanging out. He's a little key owl. Key, and then we're done with that one. We're down. We have 2 left, these beautiful flower ones. Okay, we have a little bee. He's silver. That's okay. We have yellowy colors in here. Do we have any yellowy color beads? Yellow, orange. I do. I have yellow and orange colored beads in here for this rose. It's just a tiny little guy. And we'll give him a bee to fly around. and maybe we'll put that in the center. I think that that will look good. Okay, so there's another one of those. I am whipping out the ephemera this week, and this happened last time. I don't like that with the flower there, so I'm just going to take that back off of there. I like to put it through the petal because it dangles. More dangle. More dangling. There we go. Just looks better to me when it's not quite in the center, so that everything kind of goes. These are just so sweet. These are so sweet and so cute and just so much fun. Let's get a flower. Let's get one of our bulb pins. I'm gonna go eat some lunch, and then I'm gonna, yes, I am gonna eat some lunch. I said that I had gotten out. Okay. I'm gonna put these things away so that I can get out the other things and not hold them in my hand. These trays are great. These are for embossing powder, but I also use them for my beads. If you're a bead worker, you probably have things like this. I had some just little tiny takeout containers that had like potato salad in them yesterday. And I was like, save those because I can put my beads in them and then they could just live in those. But they'd take up like this much space, but then you'd stack them instead of my box, which you've already seen. Okay. Purples. For the purple one, because I wanted to do something different. And I do want to do something different. I think it's very fun. This is a very dark purple one. I want to put it between some of these lighter purple ones. I'm going to make 3 very different beads on here. This one will be like a lilac, and it's opaque, and it's cloudy, and you can't see through it. And then there's this just very, very dark purple one. And then I'm going to find a glass one that is glassy and see-through, and maybe not. Oh, I'm so picky. I'm going to get this blue one. Why not? It's different. I don't think it's the same as the first one. It is kind of the same. It's got the same opaque color through it, but it is not. I worked in microbiology and I am used to describing bacteria colonies. So there you can hear it coming out right now, can't you? I'm describing these beads in all of this beautiful detail, and that is really pretty. I love the purple. Oh, look at all these little things we made. Oh, aren't these beautiful? Look at these little dangles, making dangles. You can use, oh, I said I would do one more. So if you have a tag, let me find a tag. I don't have any finished tags. Right, this is my ephemera book that I'm making, and I need to go and label these things so that when I want to tag, I know where they're at. But if you have a tag, and I made this with a die cut, so it's kind of fancy. You have a kind of fancy little tag, and you have decorated it beautifully like that. Then you can come to your dangles and say, we need a little bit of something, 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 and there you go. You can put that on there, and you can put it in your pocket, and these are huge, so I hope you have a lot of room in your junk journal. And if you don't have a lot of room left in your junk journal, then I hope that you are making a new one and scrap happily, dangle freely. I have had such a great time. Like this video, subscribe, share it with a friend. If you want to do a craft shop, drop me a comment in the below, send me a DM, and we'll work that out, and I'll be happy to send you a little bit of happy mail. And we can do a trade or an exchange. We can do, if people are interested, I'm more than happy to kind of keep a list of pen pals from 50 states. I think that that would be fun, and we can do countries of the world too if you want. If people are interested in doing that. I'm in Tennessee, so anything that works. It doesn't have to be an exchange like that. That's just kind of what I'm thinking right now. Let me know. Enjoy your day. Bye.